Welcome back to Cliffhangers and Page Turners, everyone. Your weekly escape into the stories we just can't stop thinking about. And I am absolutely thrilled for today's book club discussion. This book, it was such a delightful surprise, and I know you all are going to love what we uncover here.
Definitely ready to unpack another incredible read with you all. How was your week, everyone? We hope it was, full of good books and maybe some cozy moments like ours has been, because this book, it definitely brings the cozy.
It absolutely does. And speaking of good books and cozy moments, today we're diving into a story that's been making waves for all the right, incredibly charming reasons. It's kind of a phenomenon, isn't it? One that sort of snuck up on people and just captured hearts.
It really did.
And look, before we even properly get started, if you're into gripping book discussions and wild plot twists, and let's be honest, we've got both, even in our coziest reads, sometimes you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. We drop new episodes every Friday on all your favorite podcast platforms, but remember, all our old episodes, you can only find them exclusively on YouTube. Don't miss out.
That's right. Today we're excited to be on episode 27, and we are absolutely gushing over Travis Baldree's delightful Legends and Lattes, a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. You hinted at it, but this isn't your typical, grand save-the-world high fantasy adventure, is it?
Oh, not at all.
It's got such a unique and surprising twist that I think really makes it stand out.
A very surprising twist. Usually when you hear fantasy novel, your mind goes straight to, mighty dragons, epic quests across these vast, perilous lands, powerful sorcerers, heroes battling the apocalypse.
The usual stuff.
Right. But Baldree, bless his heart, takes us in a completely different, wonderfully grounded direction. This book is all about, the low stakes mentioned right there in the title. And honestly, I find it utterly captivating because of that. It's such a breath of fresh air.
And that's exactly why we're framing this whole discussion as a giant book club.
Yeah.
We really want to encourage all of you listening to think along with us, maybe even share your own thoughts, your favorite moments in the comment section below.
Yeah, please do.
We're really going to unpack Viv's journey here, her deeply personal challenges and the incredible, unexpected community she builds around herself. Because it's so much more profound than just, a simple story about opening a shop. It's about identity and change and finding where you belong.
The orc who wanted coffee, a radical career change.
Okay, let's truly unpack this, starting with our protagonist, Viv. She's an orc, right? And not just any orc, but a truly seasoned adventurer. One of the best, apparently, having spent a staggering 22 years living that life. Can you even imagine that?
It's wild to think about.
22 years of constant danger, of what she vividly describes as blood and mud and bullshit. That's longer than many people's entire careers. And hers was literally risking her life every single day. Most folks dream of retiring to a quiet life, but Viv's retiring from, fighting monsters.
It's an incredibly long and brutal career for someone in that line of work, especially when you think about the traditional, often violent expectations for an orc in a lot of fantasy settings. And Travis Baldree is super explicit about her turning point. He doesn't just hint at it. He states that Viv reached her absolute limit.
Just done.
Yeah. It wasn't a gradual fade, a slow burn of weariness. It was a decisive, almost abrupt, I'm done. She just walked away from her crew one morning, feeling maybe a prick of shame or apprehension, but ultimately she was unwilling to talk about it, precisely for fear of changing her mind. The conviction was just absolute.
A complete and total career pivot, then. From a life utterly defined by brute strengths, by the constant threat of a sudden sharp end. That's Baldree's perfect phrasing for dying violently on an adventure, too. Well, to something entirely new and, frankly, pretty domestic. But it's this fundamental, deep-seated desire to avoid that sharp end, to consciously choose her own path, to have a different future that truly drives her. It's such a radical act of self-preservation, physically from the dangers, but emotionally, too, seeking a kind of peace she's never known. It's a character changing their entire core, really.
And that profound desire for change, that yearning for a new beginning, it's beautifully symbolized by two incredibly important items she carries. They're almost opposing items, actually.
Yeah.
First, there's Black Blood, her greatsword, a magnificent, dangerous weapon that literally weighs heavy on her back. It's this constant physical reminder of her past life, the violence, the identity she's trying to shed.
The weight of the past, literally.
Exactly. But then, tucked secretly in her inner jacket pocket, like a hard, withered apple, is the Scalvert Stone. She touches it reflexively, almost compulsively, reassuring herself it's still there. These items aren't just props. They are direct, tangible links. The sword is the burden, the weight of what she was.
Right.
And the stone, perhaps, is the potent promise of what she could become. It's such a brilliant setup for her internal conflict right from the start.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe kind of relatable even for an orc warrior. Viv arrives in Thune, this city she barely knows, feeling this utterly overwhelming, almost unbearable sense of nervous elation. Baldree describes it as like a battle cry she can barely hold in.
Wow.
And this isn't some impulsive whim. Baldree makes it crystal clear she chose this city after intense, meticulous research, methodically crossing every other potential location off her list. Talk about commitment. This isn't a whimsical, stir-of-the-moment thing. It's a meticulously planned, almost strategic move, which is such a stark, fascinating contrast to the impulsive, reactive life of an adventurer, isn't it?
Right.
She's applying her warrior's discipline to domesticity.
That's what's so fascinating here. Even in this radical shift from adventurer to aspiring shopkeeper, Viv still employs a kind of strategic, almost military planning. It's just applied to a completely different kind of quest.
Totally.
Her immediate mission in Thune isn't fighting a dragon, it's finding a potent ley line using a witching rod. For anyone maybe not familiar, a Thunat ley line in fantasy is typically like a mystical energy current in the earth, right? And thaumic energy is basically its magical form, which she needs to power whatever she's planning.
Right, got to have that magical juice.
Exactly. It's a pragmatic, almost scientific approach for someone who just left a life of brutal, instinctual combat. She's bringing her planning skills, her, intellectual rigor to this new, gentler, yet still ambitious endeavor.
And what's the spot she chooses for this magical new venture? A battered, run-down place with a flaked-away, barely legible sign that used to say Parkin's Livery, a horse stable, for a coffee shop.
I know.
So what does this all mean beyond just finding a cheap fixer-upper? It means she's deliberately starting from scratch, from something entirely unsuitable for her dream, a place steeped in, like, horse grime.
Yeah, the smell alone.
Right. And yet, despite its awful state, she sees nothing but immense, uncapped potential. She's not just buying a building, she's buying a blank slate full of possibility.
Exactly. Baldree sums up Viv's immediate vision, her core philosophy for this new chapter, in one incredibly powerful line. Things don't have to stay as what they started out as.
I love that.
That statement, to me, is so profound and universally resonant, isn't it? It's not just about turning a crumbling stable into a cafe. It's explicitly about transforming herself, her destiny, breaking free from the expectations and limitations of her past. She's looking at this rundown stable, probably smelling of old horses.
Oh, for sure.
And seeing a vibrant, bustling future where she serves, fancy drinks. It's a statement of radical hope, agency, and self-reinvention.
Her first interactions in Thune are absolute gold, too. They immediately set that cozy, character-driven tone of the book.
Yeah.
We meet Lainey, her gossipy but ultimately friendly neighbor.
Oh, Lainey.
She immediately gives Viv the entire lowdown on the previous owner, Ansem, and his rather infamous lack of business sense. That old woman Lainey is such a hoot, providing all the essential local color, a healthy dose of neighborhood gossip, and a great deal of humor right off the bat. She makes the place feel real.
Yes, and Viv's negotiation with Ansem, the livery owner, it perfectly showcases her new, determined approach. This is serious business to her now. She applies the same unwavering intensity, the same focus she once used facing down monsters to this seemingly mundane task of buying property.
She doesn't mess around.
No, she doesn't just haggle. She backs her offer with a handful of platinum chits, a currency hardly ever seen in a place like this. It's her version of a power move, right? A clear demonstration of her seriousness, her resources, her absolute commitment. And it works. It shows her past skills are adaptable, even if the context has totally changed.
After the purchase is made, Viv's first actions are super telling about her character and her commitment. First, she gets her high-value platinum exchanged for smaller coins, practical step. Then instead of sharpening her sword, she visits the Athenaeum, which is basically a library,
right,
to write letters. This is such a quiet, intellectual, almost scholarly task, totally contrasting with her warrior's muscle memory for fighting. She's planning, reading, strategizing for her business, not swinging a sword. Then she buys this enormous, heavy strongbox for Marquis & Sons. For security, obviously. But it feels symbolic, too.
This whole sequence is incredibly symbolic, isn't it? Really highlighting her transition. Stowing the deed to her new place and her remaining cash inside that huge strongbox, then hanging the key around her neck. It signifies ownership, security, a tangible claim on her new life, and a commitment to protecting it.
Definitely.
And then there's her choice to sleep, Not in some nice inn, but right there in one of the stalls amidst what Baldree wonderfully calls horse apples of antiquity and the dust of neglect.
Yes.
It's humble, it's practical, and it vividly shows her absolute dedication. Building her dream from the ground up, no matter how uncomfortable or unglamorous the start might be. It's an orc roughing it in a horse stall, and somehow it just works.
Building the dream, a motley crew, and unexpected challenges.
So, stable bought, vision clear, but Viv quickly realizes, okay, I can't do this alone. She needs help. So she heads down to the shipyards looking for a skilled carpenter, and there she finds Cal, a hob, working alone meticulously on a dinghy. Now, for those maybe not familiar, hobs are often shunned in cities, sometimes called pucks, kind of derogatory. But this guy, Cal, he's quiet, stoic, methodical, and you can just immediately tell he's got craft.
Real skill.
And Viv, an orc who herself has often been an outsider, right? She immediately recognizes and appreciates his skill, cutting right through that societal prejudice.
This is a really important moment, I think, and it raises an interesting question about Viv's character. How does Viv, an orc who's been marginalized herself, navigate a society that shuns hobs, yet immediately sees Cal's inherent worth and talent?
Good point.
It powerfully highlights her evolving perspective, her ability to look beyond just appearances. Her approach to hiring him is incredibly direct, almost philosophical. Live long enough, you realize some folks can be handed a problem and some tools, and they'll sort it out.
I love that line.
Right. She's willing to pay him well, trust him implicitly, valuing his demonstrable craft and problem-solving skills over social standing or any prejudice about his race. It's pragmatic, but also deeply empathetic.
She then drops the bombshell on him. She's opening a coffee shop. Cal, naturally, is utterly skeptical. Bean water, he asks, which honestly is a completely fair and pretty funny reaction from someone who's probably never even heard of coffee.
Totally fair.
But after seeing Viv's detailed sketches, these drawings of her vision for the space, he eventually, with his usual quiet contemplation, agrees. How wild is that? She shows these designs to this quiet hob, and he just goes, and agrees to completely transform this derelict stable. It's a real leap of faith for both of them.
It's absolutely a testament to the trust they established so quickly, based on mutual respect for skill and seriousness, and also just the power of a clear vision. Their collaboration starts right away, setting up this dynamic. Cal, practical, detailed, knowing construction, versus Viv's more vague, aspirational vision for the feel of the place.
Yeah, the vibes.
Exactly. But despite his skepticism about the product, he sees her seriousness. He even gives her that subtle warning about dickering prices, which is this wonderful, understated nod to their budding partnership. He's already looking out for their venture, not just his paycheck.
Okay, so work starts, things are looking up. But then the, let's say, grittier realities of Thune start to intrude.
Yeah.
We meet Lack, the stylishly dressed representative of the Madrigal, who shows up to collect.
Lack. Yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the Madrigal, that name is whispered in the streets, right? Clearly a power player in the city's underworld. And their errand boy, Lack, arrives to introduce Viv to the local protection racket.
Not a dragon, but definitely a threat.
Exactly.
This scene perfectly introduces that unique brand of low stakes, yet still very real dangers in Thune. It's not dragons or world-ending stuff, it's organized crime wanting its cut. The mundane but insidious threat to small businesses. Lack's language is so smooth, almost bureaucratic, talking about his civic duty to welcome new arrivals and take an interest in their welfare.
Right, like he's doing her a favor.
It's such a thinly veiled threat, a reminder that even in a low-stakes world, there are powerful, pragmatic forces that expect their due. It grounds the fantasy in a very real urban reality.
And Viv, being Viv, the seasoned adventurer, she takes a remarkably defiant stance. She has this witty back and forth with Lack, casually dismisses him, and goes right back to her notes for the shop.
Doesn't even break stride.
You just have to admire her nerve. She's not easily intimidated, drawing on a lifetime of facing down far more monstrous threats. She treats him like a minor annoyance, not a real force, which is just fantastic.
Cal's reaction, though, is incredibly telling. He speaks volumes without a single word. He just stands there, silent, rigid with tension. His body language says everything.
Yeah, you feel that tension.
Only after Lack leaves does he suggest Viv hang Blackblood her greatsword on the wall, but with a specific purpose. If you're going to show him you got teeth, at least fix it so you can bite when you need to. This highlights Viv's deep internal conflict, doesn't it? Does she revert to her old ways, intimidation and violence, to protect her new life, or does she commit fully to this new peaceful path? It's a powerful symbolic moment, a fundamental question of identity for her.
Okay, so construction's happening, but even for a determined orc like Viv, waiting is hard. With the shop slowly taking shape, she gets restless and posts an assistant wanted notice. And who shows up?
Here we go.
Tandre, a succubus. This is such an unexpected and delightful turn, completely twisting those traditional fantasy tropes. My jaw literally dropped when I read this part.
It's fascinating, isn't it? The immediate and complete subversion of expectations. A succubus in folklore and a lot of fantasy is often manipulative, seductive, maybe malevolent, right? A demon preying on people.
Exactly.
Yet Baldree introduces Tandre not as a villain, but as someone looking for an assistant job in a coffee shop. Her appearance, horns, magenta skin is striking, but her demeanor is cautious yet confident. It immediately challenges not only Viv's preconceptions, but the readers too. Forces you to rethink assumptions about fantasy races.
Viv's interview with Tandre is hilariously awkward. It's one of my favorite scenes. Viv, trying to be professional, admits she has no food service experience after putting it in the job ad.
Irony.
And Tandre, with perfect deadpan delivery, says she doesn't either, then asks Viv, "Do you?" It's this moment of mutual vulnerability, humor, and a shared learning curve that immediately endears them to each other, despite their, wildly different backgrounds. Such a clever way to show their connection starting.
The initial tension in that scene is so real, though. Viv is agonizing, trying not to offend Tandre because of her race, trying so hard to be respectful. But Tandre, with wonderful self-possession, sets firm boundaries right away. No, I have no desire to vamp your customer.
Well,
right. It's a crucial defining moment. It allows for this mutual willingness to learn, to build trust based on individual character and skill, not on species or prejudice. It really brings up that question Baldree explores throughout. How does he use these characters to challenge our preconceptions about fantasy races, using this low-stakes setting to explore really profound themes of prejudice, acceptance, and finding your place?
okay, shop's built, it looks great, Tandre's hired, but now the hard part, getting customers.
Yeah.
And of course, advertising is needed. Tandre, it turns out, has this hidden artistic talent. She creates the most charming, grand opening Legends and Lattes sign.
She's amazing.
She's not just an assistant, she's like an instant marketing genius, and Baldree adds these great little details, like her tail swishing with concentration when she's creating. It adds so much to her charm, makes her feel so real.
But despite the beautiful sign and their earnest efforts, the start is definitely slow. Viv questions, quite realistically, who showed up to buy something they didn't know they needed. It's a perfectly valid concern, right, for a totally new concept, like coffee in a city where it's unknown.
Yeah, fair point.
The few early customers have these mixed, almost comical reactions. Some find it not bad, but definitely not tea, and certainly not something they'd pay for regularly. It's a stark, honest reminder of the uphill battle they face, trying to establish a new taste and new culture.
And then just when things are looking a little, shaky, in walks Thimble, a flour-caked ratkin who just immediately captures my heart.
Thimble, yes.
He meditates over his steaming mug for a bit, this picture of quiet contemplation, and then, with a simple, eloquent squeak, provides his now famous cinnamon rolls.
The rolls.
The cinnamon rolls. Suddenly, the shop has a signature item, a unique selling point, a hook that nobody, not even Viv, saw coming. Thimble, this quiet, unassuming baker, just squeaks for emphasis, and a new star of Thune's food scene is born. It's such a delightful, unexpected turn that changes everything.
If you connect this to the bigger picture, like business and community building, it profoundly shows that even a great idea, even a unique space like Legends and Lattes, needs that irresistible hook, something tangible to draw people in. And Thimble, with his magical cinnamon rolls, is exactly that for the shop.
They become legendary.
The immediate, overwhelming popularity of the rolls gives them this significant, almost miraculous boost. Draws in customers who might have stayed away, and even gets the magical interested again, but in a different way. It's that unexpected element, that serendipitous connection that truly makes the shop not just survive, but really start to thrive.
Our next fantastic character joining this amazing crew is Pendry, the underfed and aristocratic farmhand who, deep down, desperately wants to be a bard.
Oh.
He's introduced as extremely nervous, almost physically strangling his lute, asking to perform like it's this huge, unwarranted imposition. Poor Pendry. He's just so endearing in his awkwardness, you can't help but root for him right away. His self-doubt is just palpable.
Viv's decision to give him a chance, despite his obvious stage fright and lack of confidence, is a truly beautiful moment, another sign of her evolving character. It's guided, Baldree tells us, by that familiar feeling of snapping clothes from the Skelvert stone. She's trusting her instincts now, beyond just combat.
Interesting connection to the stone again.
Yeah. Pendry's music, when he finally plays, is surprising, this raw, wailing edge from an unusual lute made of slate-like stone under the strings. It showcases Viv's growing ability to nurture talent, even if it's unconventional, to embrace the new and unexpected, even when it's rough around the edges. She's basically building a sanctuary for lost souls, isn't she?
She really is. And he grows so much. From that painfully awkward start, Pendry truly transforms into this confident, captivating, folksy ballad player with a wonderfully sweet, earnest voice. He even starts writing his own songs about the shop and its patrons.
That's so great.
It's like the shop itself, through Viv's nurturing environment, helps people find their true calling, their comfortable space to grow and express themselves. It's such a powerful, recurring theme throughout the whole book. This place, this community, it facilitates personal transformation.
Tests, trust, and transformation. The growing community.
So into this growing community comes Hemington, the Acres student. He's always studying Naley lines, those magical energy currents we mentioned, and his initial lack of interest in Viz coffee is pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he's just there for the free table space, basically.
Exactly. Using the shop like a library, taking up prime seating and declaring with total academic aloofness, nothing for me, thanks. He's a wonderful contrast to the warmth of the others.
Candry's social intelligence, though, her growing understanding of people, it really shines here. She cleverly gets him to interact, gently pushes him to reveal his lay compass, and, crucially, the existence of an anomalous nexus, a powerful convergence point of those ley lines, located directly under the shop.
So Viv was right about the spot.
Totally. His academic research ironically points to the magical underpinnings of her whole venture, confirming the location is special and magically potent, even if he initially dismissed the coffee itself. It's such an elegant way Baldree weaves the fantasy elements into the everyday, confirming Viv's initial findings with the witching rod.
This accidental revelation then leads to that truly crucial and quite funny policy change. Purchase required to enjoy the dining area.
Gotta pay to stay.
Right. And Hemington naturally makes this reluctant purchase of a drink he clearly doesn't want, just highlighting his singular focus on his studies. It's a small, funny detail, but it perfectly illustrates the practical, sometimes mundane side of running a business, even a magical coffee shop.
Later on, Viv, despite her, skepticism about using too much overt magic in her new grounded life, she still hedges her bets. She asks Hemington to lay a ward for protection around the shop.
Smart move.
He agrees to create an anima proximity ward, which is like a magical defensive barrier tied to the life force of living beings. It's Viv being pragmatic, acknowledging the intangible forces at play, and knowing what's really at stake for her new life and the community she's painstakingly built. Shows her adaptability, using all available tools, even if they're outside her usual warrior skill set.
My absolute favorite addition to the shop's family, who brings this element of unexpected wildness and charm, has got to be Amity, the dire cat.
Yes.
She's not just a cat, she's majestic, powerful, and delightfully aloof. Her appearances are infrequent, but always impactful. A dire cat in a coffee shop, such a perfect, cozy fantasy element.
It really is.
Amity, in Baldree's hands, acts as both a symbol of the unexpected comforts and quiet joys of the shop, and a subtle, often hilarious protector. We see that gruff dwarf regular confirming her presence, calling her a good girl.
That's so cute.
Her initial indifference to Thimble, the ratkin baker, but her eventual settling into the shop as a regular fixture. It cements her role as an integral, if aloof and pastry-loving member of the community. She's the shop's furry, intimidating guardian.
And let's not forget her most charming and probably exasperating tendency to casually swallow any unattended pastries.
Oh, definitely caught Red Pod.
She's a delightful, slightly mischievous addition, brings a touch of wild nature to the cozy chaos. You just know Tandri gives her the side-eye sometimes.
The old life, though. As we often see in these stories of transformation, it has a way of lingering, often uninvited. Fennis shows up, Viv's unwelcome old crewmate, an elegant but utterly insufferable elf.
Oh, Fennis.
He was always a thorn in Viv's side. It's clear neither of them ever really liked the other, making his arrival instantly tense.
The tension between them is just palpable from the moment he walks in. He makes these subtle digs, these underhanded comments meant to undermine Viv, and his focus on the Ring of Fortune, a clear reference to the Skelvert stone, confirms he knows about her secret, or at least its reputation.
Busted.
It really highlights that even when you try desperately to leave your past behind, sometimes it follows you, especially if you have secrets like the stone. It's a reminder for Viv that her old life isn't entirely gone.
But then Amity, the dire cat, steps in a moment that truly solidified her place in my heart.
What did she do?
She unexpectedly defends Viv against Fennis, purring menacingly, fur bristling, her presence instantly intimidating. It's this wonderful, almost primal moment showing the burgeoning, nonverbal bonds forming in the shop. Amity just knows, senses the bad vibes, the threat from Fennis, and acts like this fierce, loyal guardian for Viv. She's not just a pet, she's family.
Amazing. Go, Amity.
After Fennis finally leaves, Viv is left struggling internally, wondering about the stone's true power. Is it a blessing or curse? She recites that cryptic verse she carries. Well nigh to Thaumic line, the Scalvert stone of fire draws the ring of fortune, aspect of heart's desire.
Ooh, chills.
It's such an evocative piece of lore, isn't it? Hinting at deeper, more complex magic and the potential for both profound good and unforeseen trouble. Leaves her and us pondering its true nature.
The Madrigal's influence, however, is far from over. Their patience is clearly wearing thin. Lack returns.
Oh, boy.
And this time he's got Kellen with him. Tandri's unwanted, thoroughly unpleasant admirer and an intimidating group of enforcers. The Madrigal's main guy, Lack, is back, and the stakes are clearly undeniably rising. It feels like a direct physical threat now.
Lack's menacing tone, his clear reminder of the monthly involuntary donation they expect, coupled with Kellen's direct, horrifying threat to see the place burn to the ground, it's a direct challenge to the safety, the very existence of the community Viv built.
Yeah, this is serious.
The Madrigal's escalating demands represent the very real, often brutal high stakes of staying independent, even in a low-stakes fantasy setting. This is about survival now.
What's truly fascinating, though, and kind of revealing about the Madrigal's internal logic, is Lack's surprising reaction to Kellen's threat of arson.
Oh yeah? What happens?
He snatches Kellen by the lapel, physically pulls him back and snarls, "Shut up, you insufferable shit weasel."
Whoa! Lack said that.
Yeah. It tells you a lot about their underlying code, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's about control, maintaining a predictable business of protection, not wanton, destructive chaos. There's this pragmatic, almost business-like approach to their racket, which even Lack, the enforcer, respects.
Interesting. So in response to this grave threat, Viv's initial decision is to trust Tybus's offer to arrange a parley, a negotiation, despite her old crewmate Galena's fierce skepticism about negotiating with criminal.
Right. Galena's probably like, just fight him.
Exactly. This internal debate, fighting versus negotiating, is absolutely crucial for Viv's character arc. She's actively choosing a new path, dialogue over drawing her sword.
And Tandri's passionate, heartfelt argument against Viv, resorting to violence or bringing in her old crew, that's a truly pivotal moment, isn't it? Not just for the plot, but for Viv's personal growth.
It really is. Tandri argues that Viv would lose what she won by building this place without it, by going back to her old, violent ways.
Wow, that's powerful.
Tandri's insight here is crucial. It's not just about winning a physical fight. It's about preserving the spirit of the shop, the new life. Viv is trying to build a life defined by connection, not confrontation. She's reminding Viv of who she's become.
Despite their best efforts, despite the parley being arranged, Kellen, in this fit of rage and spite, orchestrates a devastating fire, using corpse fire green flames, which sounds terrifying and totally unnatural. This scene is just heartbreaking. The shop, Viv's new life, literally burning down in this blaze of malevolent, magical green fire. It feels like everything she's worked for is just gone, consumed.
Viv's heroism in that moment is truly profound, though. It underscores her changed priorities. She suffers painful, debilitating burns while saving Tandri and the incredibly precious coffee machine, the heart of her business.
She saved the machine.
She did. But then, in the smoldering ashes, her desperate search for the Scalvert stone yields nothing. It's gone.
Oh, wow. The stone is gone.
Gone. The loss of the stone in the fire raises huge, agonizing questions about its true influence in Viv's future. Was it genuinely a source of luck, drawing good things? Or was it, as she now fears, the ultimate cause of her misfortune and this devastating attack?
Oh, man, that's rough.
But in the absolute face of this devastation, something truly beautiful happens. The community rallies.
Yes.
There's immediate, overwhelming support from Cal, Pendry, Thimble, even, surprisingly, some of the Madrigal's men show up. Not to demand money, but to deliver replacement tiles for rebuilding.
The Madrigal helps.
A little bit, yeah. It's like the entire town pitches in. It's this powerful testament to what Viv and the shop have come to mean to them, how much they've collectively become this new positive force in Thune.
That's amazing.
Tandri's emotional support and her directness during this trauma are so important for Viv, helping her process the loss. She challenges Viv's self-pity, reminds her of that concept, arcane reciprocity. The idea that removing the stone might just bring back the deferred suffering it supposedly prevented.
Huh. Interesting theory.
It's a pivotal moment for Viv. A realization that she's truly not alone, and that her new life, her connections, her purpose, they have value entirely independent of any magical stone. The true magic, if you will, isn't an artifact, it's the community itself.
And what happens next is just glorious. They don't just rebuild, they build back better.
Heck yeah.
It's this incredibly rapid rebuilding process. Cal designs an even bigger, better shop, 2 ovens, a proper kitchen, thanks to his amazing skills. Hemington, now fully invested, wards the new building against future fires using his ley line knowledge. And Pendry, the once awkward bard, turns out to be a surprisingly skilled stonemason.
Pendry, no way.
Yes, it's an incredible display of collective effort, resilience, and personal growth for everyone involved.
The magical conflict, which was such a persistent threat, gets resolved in such a charming and surprisingly benevolent way, too.
Oh.
The new arrangement, weekly cinnamon rolls and Thimble's mini rolls in exchange for the madrigal's protection.
Protection racket, pastry division.
Basically, it's food, not fear, that solidifies the new order and the shop's place in Thune's ecosystem. It beautifully demonstrates a different kind of power, one built on mutual benefit and, yeah, surprisingly delicious baked goods.
Viv's next action is, for me, one of the most powerful and moving moments in the whole book. She makes Cal, Condry, and Thimble full partners in Legends and Lattes. She tells them, with such genuine emotion, "You built it. You made it work. And it'd be nothing without you." It's such a profound moment of shared ownership, appreciation, recognition, truly embodying that spirit of found family and collective effort. It's not just her shop anymore, it's theirs.
The symbolic return of black blood is also key here, right? A beautifully nuanced resolution to Viv's past. The great sword gets mounted on the new shop sign, yes, but it's not a weapon of war anymore. It's adorned with garlands, transformed into a relic, a decoration, something from before, but now integrated into her new identity.
Part of the history, but not the future.
Exactly. This is where Viv truly reconciles her past and present. The sword is part of her, a reminder of her journey, but it no longer defines her in the same violent way. It's not a weapon to be wielded in anger, but a symbol of where she came from and how far she's come.
And as a final heartwarming act of creating a true home, Viv makes new rooms upstairs. A comfortable bed for herself, a real sanctuary after years of adventuring.
Nice.
And a fully furnished room for Tandri, complete with art supplies.
Ah, for her drawing.
This, to me, this is the true heart's desire the stone might have drawn to her. Not wealth or fame or endless adventure, but a safe, welcoming home and a cherished, chosen family. It's everything she never knew she wanted.
Tandri's emotional response to this, embracing Viv, is the ultimate aha moment, isn't it? For her and for the reader, she realizes with profound clarity the totality of Viv's essential self, and that there was no magic to it at all. There never had been.
Wow.
This is where the true power of Baldree's story lies, I think. The real magic wasn't in the Skelford Stone. It was in the community, the trust, the connection, the deep, unwavering friendship they built together, brick by brick, bean by bean.
The Skelford Stone, a final revelation.
Okay, let's talk about Durius, the elderly chess-playing gnome. He's this incredibly mysterious old-timer with a wonderfully rumpled velvet voice, a connoisseur of gnomish coffee. Even Amity, the dire cat, loves him.
Right. The cat knows.
He's just this fount of quiet, unassuming wisdom, the kind of character who makes you lean in closer to listen.
Durius offers some truly profound wisdom, speaking to Viv about her journey. He tells her, "You've planted something, and now it's blossoming. Very nice. A good spot to rest. My thanks to you for letting an old-timer shade under the branches of what you've grown."
That's beautiful.
It connects so beautifully to the idea of building a legacy, a thriving community. Shows the deep, positive impact Viv has had on Thune. His words are simple, yet incredibly powerful.
And then, in true wise old sage fashion, Durius drops the bomb about the Skelford Stone.
Here it comes.
He reveals, with quiet certainty, it draws like to like. And critically, not the way folk hoped.
Ooh, okay. Like to like.
This single statement just fundamentally challenges Viv's entire understanding of the stone, its power, its purpose, shifts her perspective entirely.
Viv's initial reaction is understandably bitterness, regret, right?
Yeah.
Believing the stone might have actually caused the fire and all the trouble rather than preventing it.
Yeah, I'd be mad too.
But Durace's calm, wise counterpoint, I wouldn't be so sure of that, completely changes the perspective. It wasn't a mere luck charm for personal gain or a shield from misfortune. It was a powerful catalyst for community and connection, drawing people together who shared Viv's intrinsic desire for a different, kinder, more connected life.
So it brought her found family, not just like good luck with roles.
Exactly. It brought her the people who resonated with her heart's desire for belonging and peace, not necessarily material success in the way she or Fennis might have expected.
We get a brief but incredibly satisfying mention of Fennis's downfall, that smarmy elf. Rune and Galena, Viv's old crewmates, arrive in Thune with the new ovens for the shop.
With the goods.
And they quickly confirm they know all about Fennis's treachery and the role he played in the fire. Justice is coming for him, but significantly, not by Viv's hand.
Galena, ever the pragmatist, still rooted in the old ways, expresses a desire for traditional revenge. Take just a finger or three.
Sounds like Galena.
Right. But Viv, demonstrating her profound growth, makes a conscious, deliberate decision to let the stone's draw like-to-like principle handle Fennis.
Wow. Letting karma do its thing.
This is Viv choosing a different kind of justice, one where natural consequences take their course, rather than resorting to the violence that once defined her. It's a clear, powerful demonstration of her deep personal transformation. She's truly walked away from that old life.
The brief resolution of the Bodkin story, another thread from Viv's adventuring past, is also really important for showing her evolving character, I thought.
Oh yeah, Bodkin. Remind me.
Viv's team manages to retrieve the valuable schematics from him, and he escapes, but not before Viv shows him this profound act of mercy. It's not just a quick wrap-up, it's another layer to her growth.
This moment of mercy connects directly to Viv's own past desires to escape her old life, right? To choose a new one. The moment Viv lets Bodkin go, despite Galena's protest, because as Viv realizes her husband, lover, whatever, he's going to walk through that door any second. It's Viv understanding and respecting that same fundamental desire for a new, better life, free from the old constraints. It's a moment of profound empathy, of Viv seeing herself in someone else and choosing compassion over retribution.
It's almost like the book's own journey mirrors Viv's, wouldn't you say? Travis Baldree's acknowledgments tell us that Legends and Lattes started as a self-published work, basically sent out into the world with zero expectations.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and yet it blossomed and grew purely due to community enthusiasm and word of mouth. From low expectations to blossoming success because of the dedicated, passionate community behind it.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful meta-narrative parallel, isn't it? Baldree highlights key acknowledgments like author Sean McGuire's pivotal role in bringing the book to a gigantic audience via Twitter and the startling amount of fan art that immediately popped up from readers.
The fan art is amazing.
It powerfully reinforces that central message, doesn't it? That kindness, community, unexpected connections, they can truly achieve incredible things, both within the magical world of the story and in the very real world of its creation. It's a true testament to the power of shared passion and collective discovery.
So what does this all mean for us as readers, as maybe dreamers, as people seeking change sometimes? It means Legends and Lattes is just this wonderfully heartwarming tale about found family, about the profound joy of building a community, about embracing second chances, and about redefining what success truly means on your own terms. You absolutely can trade a mighty great sword for a cozy coffee machine, and in doing so, find something even more precious, more fulfilling. It's a lesson I think maybe many of us can truly take to heart in our own lives.
Travis Baldree has truly crafted a unique and utterly charming fantasy novel that proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that low stakes can still be incredibly compelling. Perhaps it's because the stakes are so deeply personal and emotionally resonant, rather than world-ending, that they feel so incredibly impactful.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the greatest adventures we can embark upon are the ones we build ourselves with the people who matter most.
We want to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most in Legends and Lattes? What did you think about Viv's incredible journey from fearsome adventurer to cozy coffee shop owner? Did you see yourself in any of the characters' dreams for a new life? Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments section below. We really do read every single one.
And please join us next week for episode 28, where we'll be tackling a true classic, a book that needs no introduction but definitely demands a deep and nuanced discussion, 1984 by George Orwell.
Whoa, tonal shift.
Yeah, We're going from cozy and comforting to, well, let's just say definitely not so cozy. It's going to be a fascinating conversation, though.
Absolutely. So don't forget to like this episode if you enjoyed our chat about legends and lattes. Leave a comment with your thoughts, share it with a fellow bookworm who loves a good story, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.
You can find us every Friday on all your favorite podcast platforms. And remember, you can catch up on our full library of past episodes exclusively on YouTube. Until next time, happy reading, everyone.
Bye, everyone.